For high school.
Anthony is standing by.
Okay, Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310 and WOBMAM.com.
Kevin Williams, Ed Sarluka, Matt Harmon back here at Baker's Water Street Bar and Grill talking high school football and a little college football this hour as well. Thanks to Zach Collins back at the studios of the Shore Sports Network, and of course Tom Tremblay here making sure everything seems to be working, and it is so tonight. Also what's been working all season long is the high-flying, explosive Lancers of St. John Vianney, now 6-0, ranked second in the Shore Sports Network top 10, coming off a 56-26 rout of Raritan. Their senior quarterback had quite a night, and we've gotten accustomed to saying that, but Anthony Brown threw for over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns, ran for over 100 yards on just 8 carries, picking right up where he's left off last year as a junior when he threw for 2,200 yards and 25 touchdowns and ran for another 850. All of those numbers, all that talent has already led him to a college choice of Boston College, which we'll get into in a moment. But first we'll say good evening to Mr. Brown, and congratulations on an outstanding performance last week against Raritan.
Thank you.
Good to be able.
I really couldn't have done it without my teammates.
Well, that's very nice of you to spread that around, and of course you want to keep those offensive linemen happy because you want them to protect you. But you've had quite a season. Your team has had a pretty good season. Let's talk a little bit first about this Lancer team. Not surprising anyone. We've had high expectations. 6-0 so far. Do you like the way your squad has been playing?
We started off a little shaky, but now we are starting to click and fire on mostly all of our cylinders. And once we finally fire on all cylinders, we will be a heavy force to mess with.
Anthony, we saw you in week number 3 against Central Region. I have to tell you, the one thing that I was so impressed by was just the variety of weapons that you guys have offensively. Not just yourself, but a lot of those other guys. You can really spread the ball around to a lot of talented players.
Yes. The talent is just amazing, and we were blessed to receive the receivers that we have now, and they work hard every day in practice, and they just go out and do what they're capable of doing.
Let's talk about a couple of those receivers. You know, it's nice when you come to the line of scrimmage and you look left, you got a 6'6" kid in Ellington, and you look right, you got another 6'6" kid in Stapert. I mean, that's got to be a nice little bookend receiver for you.
Yes. Well, with their size, it's just, hey, when in doubt,
throw it up, right?
Six, yes, you can. But their size is just crazy, and their body control is just amazing for their size, because you don't catch too many 6'6" or 6'5" receivers that can actually move the way they can and use their hips and use their footwork as well as they can. So that is just a great attribute they have.
Okay, Anthony, you know the season in the summer didn't start out too well. You lost your old head coach, Coach Ciccatelli, and Coach Sinitsky comes in, a new situation for you. Tell us about that changeover and what happened over the summer, those first few days workouts.
Some emotions were flying here and there, and it just took some time for us to just come together. And overall, it just happened to sink in. We started to believe in the system, and we started continuing and fighting as a team.
Well, it clearly has worked well. 6-0. You'll visit Donovan Catholic tomorrow night, and then still with Monmouth Regional and Manasquat on the schedule. But I'm sure, and Coach is not here. If Coach was here, he wouldn't talk about this. But I'm sure in the back of your mind, the goal for the Lancer team has you playing on that first weekend in December for a state title. Correct?
I would say so too. But right now, we're taking it one game at a time. We cannot take any team for granted nowadays, and we just got to take it one at a time to finish throughout our season and finish our main goal at Michigan.
All right, well, that's a good answer. I know Coach will be happy about that one. It's not
Nice try, Kevin.
Yeah,
Nice try.
We tried. I am going to ask you, let's just at least spend a minute or two on you put to rest the college thing early by committing to Boston College. Tell us why you made that decision and why you made it early. Why was it important to you to get that done before your senior season?
It was important for me to get it done because at the time, the recruiting process for quarterbacks, it was quicker than ever, and everybody was committing, and it didn't really rush me into committing, so I had to really take my visits to each school that I was really interested in. And Boston College just happened to give me a great feel of me being able to be there for the next 4 to 5 years, and I just felt comfortable there. It felt like home, and it just felt like it wasn't the biggest school, but that's not what I wanted. I didn't want a big public school. If that was, I could have went to Virginia Tech, but I wanted this small setting school in a nice city where it's quiet, and it was just perfect for me. It's an academic school and they're great in football.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's a very good academic school, so obviously that's important to you, your education.
Yeah.
Are you firm in that commitment? Anthony, we know it's not official until you sign your letter of intent in February. Is there anything that could change your mind?
Well, not right now. I'm very firm on this commitment.
So now you get to sit back and enjoy the rest of your senior season, hopefully lead your team to a state championship. But, of course, like you said, right now, at least what you're going to tell us publicly right now, the other thing you're worried about is Donovan Catholic tomorrow night. So we appreciate you giving us a few minutes tonight. Enjoyed watching you earlier in the year against Central when you are a player of the game, and I'm sure we'll get a chance to see you again. So stay healthy and best wishes.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's Anthony Brown, the St. John Vianney quarterback. You know, guys, I didn't get into it with him, but you realize before last he was a safety. He didn't really convert to quarterback until last year. But when we saw him in early in the year against Central, I think we knew how well he could throw the ball. I think we were all three of us were stunned how not only how well he ran, how hard he was to bring down.
Yeah, he's got obvious running back moves for sure. He's lightning fast. I mean, the kid has got it all. I mean, I think he could go to Boston College and get right on the field and play. You know, here's one kid that, you know, you talk about Eddie Hahn, who we're not really sure if he's going to be a quarterback or a defensive player in college.
At UConn, yep.
We know Anthony Brown is going to be a quarterback in college. That's for sure.
He's a good player. They have a great program up there right now. I mean, I remember doing that game with Central when we did it all the way back in the beginning part of the year, and just amazed at the size that they have, both at the interior line spots, the wide receiver spots with guys, you know, well over 6 foot, and the running game that's there. And obviously he's the architect of all of it. Has to keep everybody happy, including himself. And, you know, credit St. John Vianney for all that controversy that they dealt with during the summer months and early on into the season. Right now they're 6-0.
And also let's give some credit to Rumson. 13-6 ball game. They lose it, but no one else has been able to stop this juggernaut. I mean, they're putting up 39 points a game.
I know there's not an asterisk on it. That was also the night of the hideous weather.
Yes.
That was the night of the rain, the wind, and all of that.
So that was the night that we were actually surprised that St. John Vianney played.
Right, because it was their home game. That's correct.
Yeah. But the Lancers, and whether Anthony wants to think about it, the Lancers are going to be heavy favorites in their last 3 games on their schedule. Donovan Catholic, Monmouth Regional, and Manasquan. If they play their game, they're 9-0. They're going to run through that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know.
Well, what they want is the top seed in that non-public Group 3 so that in the first 2 rounds they come to St. John Vianney.
Exactly.
That's important.
That's a very impressive football team, and I agree with Matt. They had some of the most impressive individuals that we have seen. The big lineman, Mika Clark, who's basically has been offered by everyone. The 2 receivers,
only a junior.
The 2 receivers, Calvin Beatty, who's a very impressive linebacker.
Haskins,
the tailback, the transfer.
Chuck Winicky.
Yeah, That's the last name, by the way.
Yes, Chris Chukwunicki.
Who's been very good. I mean, they just have all the pieces. If they stay healthy, that team could really make a run at the whole ball of wax.
I believe they can win it all.
Which would be an amazing story considering what it looked like in July, what transpired there. So we appreciate Anthony. Good chatting with him for a couple of minutes, and I think we have one more break, right, guys? We'll take our last break. When we come back, we'll get ready to talk to Coach Callahan coming off a big win, and I'm going to ask him right off the bat. I get first question, guys.
You got it.
Here's my first question. Biggest win in how long?
Fair enough.
That's what I'm asking him because it was huge.
Well, first time they've ever beaten a ranked opponent, so it might be the biggest win ever.
Well, we're going to ask him
right
after this because you're listening to the Thursday Night High School Football Show on the Shore Sports Network.
Water Street Bar and Grill in downtown Toms River is the ultimate sports bar. With 32 HD TVs, Water Street brings you all of the action of every football game. Located right on the water, Water Street is the perfect place to enjoy the finest views of the shore. Whether you want to grab a few drinks with friends, catch your favorite game, eat a delicious meal, or enjoy live entertainment every Friday and Saturday nights, Water Street is the place for a good time. Located across from Huddy Park on Robbins Parkway in downtown Toms River. Visit them at bakerswaterstreet.com. Pain is something nobody should have to live with, and Thompson Healthcare and Sports Medicine uses a wide variety of techniques and services to alleviate and eliminate your pain and find out what's causing it. With a team of chiropractors headed up by Dr. Robert Thompson, their goal is to find the best treatment program for you. Whether it's chiropractic care, sports rehab, spinal decompression, medical pain management, or acupuncture, they are also certified active relief techniques providers. Thompson Healthcare and Sports Medicine is dedicated to making your life painless. They have offices in Lacey and Toms River and coming soon to Manahawkin. For more, visit njchirosport.com.
At Jersey Mike's, we know busy lives and dinner don't always mix. But by making a sub above, we help make time for dinner time. With cold subs on warm nights and hot subs grilled for cool evenings. It's a really well-made meal, de-stressed. It's something really good, shared simply. It's a delicious dinner time in the bag. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
For the latest high school football news, visit shoresportsnetwork.com. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Well, I could not be happier for this guy than last Saturday afternoon when in overtime, his Monmouth Hawks surprised Liberty with a 20-7 victory. He is Coach Kevin Callahan from the Hawks. And, Coach, I'm starting you right off. Rank this one.
Okay, let's go.
Rank this one in terms of significant wins in your Monmouth tenure.
Well, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was, it was a good win against a conference opponent. We were excited about that. The way in which it happened, I think, was very good for the kids on our team. We're excited about it. We're happy.
I can't get you to rank it. You're just going to give me that it's a good win, right?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, yes, it was a ranked opponent. They came in ranked number 22 in the nation. But, to put a superlative on it and rank it against the first ever win in the third game of our initial season, when we had nothing but freshmen playing against a team that was 8-0 and beating them, and so many others along the line. I don't want to take away from the other guys who have built our program and say this is the win. It was a huge win, don't get me wrong. And I credit the players on our team for how they made it happen. But it was a great win. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, I mean, there have been 5 championships along the way, so maybe one of those championship games, possibly,
I'm just going to set up with the fact that he says it's a big win.
Yeah, it's a big win. Okay, let's get to the game itself, though. I thought, we all know Matt White won it for you in overtime with the field goal, but I thought his punting the entire game was so important in that football game. Being on the field, knowing how the wind was blowing, I mean, he kept the ball low into the wind with perfect spirals, which really helped the defense out.
Well, the thing about Matt is he's extremely skilled at his craft, and And it's funny, we punted 7 times on the day. 6 of them were into the win. I don't know how that worked out, but it worked out that way. But I'll tell you, he did a terrific job, as you said, Ed, keeping the ball low, hit the low spiral. We got some roll on it. And other than the first one, he did an outstanding job. Outstanding job.
Coach, as you and I talked during the course of the week leading into this particular game against Coastal Carolina, I think confidence-wise, this one was extremely important, looking at what you have coming up. Obviously, with Coastal coming into town, they're the number 1 team in the country, and then 3 games left after that. But just to kind of right the ship a little bit, especially off that Charleston Southern loss, confidence-wise, very, very important for this team.
Well, the important thing, Matt and guys, is that it wasn't as much how we won, and we're very happy with that we won the game against the 22nd ranked team in the country. But if you look at how the guys won the game, we play dominant defense. We're ahead the whole game. They take the lead for the first time all day with 1 minute and 10 seconds left in the game. And then our offense goes on the field, and we go the length of the field and kick a field goal with 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Then we get in the overtime. We get the stop on 4th down. We create a turnover. And then we go out and kick another Matt White field goal to win the game. And I'm so happy with the way our kids responded to the adversity of the situation. You're leading the whole game. You got a team that's heavily favored. They come in. They take the lead with 1 minute to go, and we don't fold. We look them straight in the eye, and we say, okay, we're going back, and we're getting the score. And to me, that's the greatest thing I take away from this game. And you know what? And that's going to pay dividends as we move forward.
Well, it was a fun game to be at and be in the booth as I was. And, the last couple of home games, you've certainly given your fans all their money's worth and more. You don't want to leave early if you're going to Monmouth Stadium because, that overtime win and, of course, the win a couple weeks before that against Bryan on the touchdown in the final minute. So pretty good treat for the home fans. Well, Saturday is homecoming. I don't know who figured this out, but usually you try and make homecoming a rather, I don't want to say easy, but an opponent. And all you got is on homecoming is the number 1 ranked team in the nation, Coastal Carolina. So give us the skinny on how good they are.
Well, yeah, as you said, Kevin, it's far from an easy game. I mean, Coastal Carolina ranked number 1 coming into the season. We played them a year ago when they were also ranked number 1, and they're a complete team. They really are. They're very talented. They're athletic. They're very well coached. Offensively, they kind of attack your defense in a lot of different areas, so they put pressure on you at every point. They have, a quarterback who's up for the Player of the Year. They have a running back who's also up for Player of the Year. They have 3 receivers who are outstanding. So they can stress your defense at almost any point. And then their defense, although they're not real big and they've lost some guys from a year ago, they're very, very athletic. They run extremely well. And the key is going to be able to ball possession, keep the time of possession on our side, gain first downs, and limit their offensive opportunities.
Coach, when you look at it, the one thing that that Coastal has, they've obviously been part of the Big South from the beginning football-wise, but they're starting to look ahead and not look past, obviously, this season, but they're a team that come next year will be making that transition to become a full FBS team.
Yeah, they're moving to the FBS level. That will start next year as they go into the Sun Belt Conference. And so, this will be maybe the last time we play them. And it's important to us to go out and put our best foot forward. They're a team that's escalating. They put a lot of resources into their program, into their stadium, into their scholarships, and all of those areas. And as you know, Matt, they're a tremendous team.
Coach, you mentioned ball possession is a key on Saturday. Try to keep it out of their hands. They have so many offensive weapons. I believe it's 37, 38 points a game they average. The development of your freshman quarterback, Cody Williams. Give us a update on Cody, and is he progressing the way you would like him to?
Well, he's certainly progressing. He is improving each and every week. And as I think we talked about maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, that improvement isn't always a steady ascent. There's things that he improves on every week, but then maybe some things fall back. And I was very pleased with the way he handled the game last Saturday at Liberty, or in the game against Liberty. He did a terrific job, And we've just got to have him continue to move in that direction. Coastal Carolina is a team that will jump on every mistake that you make. We can't afford to make any mistakes.
You've seemed at least every game I've been to this year, it seems like you lose a defensive lineman. You've been really banged up in that position. What is your relative health as a team coming into this game? What concerns you the most? I guess that defensive line all year long, really, you've had some depth concerns there, right?
Well, we have, Kevin, and what we've done is we've moved a lot of our linebackers into defensive line positions. Some of them have in turn been injured and are no longer available. But Saturday we'll be playing a lot of outside linebackers at defensive end, and that's an effort. And we're doing that for two reasons: one, to get faster people on the field; secondly, just to replace a depleted defensive line core.
Yeah. Well, listen, it should be a pretty good atmosphere. You haven't had the greatest weather for home games, but Saturday looks like a pretty nice fall day. I'm disappointed. I will be missing the game on Saturday. I'll be away this weekend, but I'll be checking out, following the guys on Twitter and seeing how everything's going. And again, it was just a great win for you guys last weekend. Hopefully you can build on that, but certainly take some consolation. And that was one that was a lot of fun for the fans there, and I think showed a lot of signs about the grit of your team. So hopefully it carries over. Coach, we always enjoy talking to you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys, and I appreciate it. And I just want to give a shout-out to Neil Sterling, a guy who graduated last year, a Manasquan High School guy who just got put on the 53-man roster for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. How exciting is that, again, for you to watch another one of your former players suit up in the NFL on Sunday? That's just got to be a thrill.
It's tremendously exciting, and I'm really happy for
2 minutes.
Mike and Tina, just to get that bid to move up and be on the roster and go out and play in the games. That's tremendous.
Great family, good things for them. They deserve it. Thanks again, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
All right, Coach Kevin Callahan on his way. Yeah, I'm glad he mentioned that. I was excited when I saw that during the week.
I saw it yesterday. Yeah.
Oh boy, what a great career he had at Monmouth. When mentioned his dad, I always look forward to seeing his dad when I did the games up there on a Saturday. That's nice, Matt. You've obviously known him. You followed him since his freshman year.
3 wide receivers now on active rosters between Miles Austin and Chris Hogan, and now Neal.
Chris Hogan is the one that continues to fly under the radar.
7-11, right?
No,
wasn't that his nickname?
No, that's the wrong
1
guy.
minute.
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, wasn't?
No.
That was his.
Yeah.
Yes. You're right, Ed. I'll back you.
Oh, you are right. I'm sorry.
7-11.
Yeah,
always open.
Always
I
open.
hate to admit when Ed's right,
he's right.
but it does happen every
when
once
I
in a while.
how many people have no idea that Chris Hogan went to Monmouth? And I tell them, yeah, he went to Penn State.
4 years. Played lacrosse.
And had that year where you can play another sport, and he played it at Monmouth, and he was a really good player. And every freaking week that guy does something in the NFL. He's amazing.
Actually, the 1 year that he was
30
at Monmouth, the thing that people kind of forget is he came in as a wide receiver, wound up playing mostly defensive back.
That's right, because they needed him there.
Yep.
Hey, guys, thanks so much. Always fun to spend a minute with you and all our guests tonight, especially coaches Walt Curry and Brian Batchelor, Anthony Brown. And
I was going to say the radiothon, right? You want to throw a plug there?
No, because we're out of time.
Oh.
I'll do so some other time. We retweeted it out today.
Okay.
All right. He always throws me off.
That was bad. That was bad.
Thank you to Tom Tremblay. Thank you to Zach Collins. Good night, everyone. You've been listening to the Thursday Night High School Football Show on the Shore Sports Network.
Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you later.